Recently, I feel like the Lord has really been dealing with me about humility. A few weeks ago, I kept hearing Jonah in the back of my head, and I'm like, we all know the story of Jonah, um, but I finally actually just went ahead and read the full book of Jonah, and we actually never talk about chapter 4. So to sum it up real quickly, God told Jonah to go to Nineveh because he wanted him to warn them about his judgment coming, about him potentially destroying the land because of their wickedness. Now, Jonah, after hearing that instruction, decides to go off somewhere else to go build his own life and basically be disobedient, right? Now, Jonah's disobedience caused him and others to be subject to a storm, him to eventually be thrown off the boat into the water and swallowed by a fish just in the nick of time. Eventually, Jonah cries out to God, somewhat repents, and then the fish spits him out, and God gives him the direction yet again to go to Nineveh and tell the people about his judgment. So Jonah gets around to giving the message to the people of Nineveh. And chapter 4 is when Jonah gets real extra. We get to chapter 4. Now, the people of Nineveh do turn back to God, and God decides to not go forth with the judgment. And Jonah is going off. He's pissed. He's like, see, this is why I didn't want to come here in the first place, because I knew you weren't going to destroy their land. I knew you were a merciful God. Now, this is the part that got me. God hits Jonah like, is this something you really should be mad about? This seems to me that Jonah's act of disobedience came maybe out of the fear of the opinions of others, maybe out of the need for validation, or him used to being right as his role as a prophet. And when God asked Jonah, is this something you should be mad about? It really struck me because no, he shouldn't be mad. Um, the whole point of God sending Jonah to tell them was that these people will have a chance to turn back to God. So no, what I told you to tell them didn't come to pass. But in the end, God got the glory. So a couple of things I took away from that was just being okay with not having all the answers. Understanding that God knows best and humbling ourselves and surrendering to God's process, whatever that may look like. Personally, for me, most of you all know I've made the transition to LA. And the whole process of going through this transition and getting here and even being here looks nothing like what I thought it would, nor what I told people it was going to be. But what I'm seeing is every day, um, I get the chance to see God show up. I get the chance to see God provide. I get the chance to see God show up in all of my conversations and connections and interactions with people as I'm going day by day. Um, and that has been one of the most rewarding parts of this experience. Then the other thing I took away from it was choosing obedience and humility over pride really gives God the opportunity to show up. It leaves room for him to do what he likes to do. It gives him room to produce miracles, gives him room to show up for people more than just you. So overall, I guess the questions I'm continuing to ponder on is when things don't go my way, or when I have to make a pivot that's not what I thought or what other people thought. Um, can I be okay with that? Can I put can I surrender my own ideas and surrender my own desires and totally put my trust in God to have him lay out this plan that he has? Um, and if in some moments I don't have certain things that I want, or I'm not experiencing certain things that in the back of my mind I feel like I should, can God be enough? And if that is my actual heart posture, then at the end of the day, I have everything that I need. I'm exactly where God wants me to be. And I'm continuing to walk in the way of being able to see him show up and being able to see him do miracles. And I'm learning how to rest in that being rewarded.